Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Council of the Municipality of Thames Centre. The date is Monday, May 13th, 2024. We are located in the Municipal Office Council Chambers at 4305 Hamilton Road in the village of Dorchester. The time is 5 p.m. and I call this meeting to order. I have been advised that there are no additions to the agenda. So do I have a mover to approve, a mover and a seconder to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting? Deputy Mayor Smybert and Councillor Heeman, all in favor? That carries. Thank you. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest or the nature thereof? Seeing none. And announcements. I do have an announcement. It's now spring in our area, and with it comes the thoughts of the spring planting season, and a reminder to everyone to be extra careful on the roads when our farmers are moving along our roadways. The OFA would like to remind our many residents that it's the time of year when farm equipment hits the roadways again, and when slow-moving vehicles share the road with motorists. The OFA reminds everyone to remember the rules of the road and take the time to put safety first. When you see a slow-moving vehicle sign, SMV, remember to slow down and share the road. And let's hope we have a safe spring planting season. The item number 6 on your agenda, 6.1, Thames Centre Finance Department presentation on open book, presented by our Director of Financial Services and Treasurer, Emily Shinbein, and our financial analyst, Nicole Bowery. So just go ahead when you're ready. Perfect.
Thank you. As you recall, back in December, we showed you Open Book, which was with the launch of the 2024 budget. So tonight we thought we'd give you another recap now that it's live, just so that you're familiar, as well as so that our residents are familiar. And it's in the spirit of open transparency and improved communication with our residents around the budget. So I'll pass it over to Nicole, who is the lead of this implementation, to walk us through it again.
Okay, so we'll start off with where it can be found. It's at thamescentre.openbook.questica.com. There's also a link on our website under the financial services section. So if we start here, we have, first off, Questica is, it's a platform that can be used across multiple devices, and it's accessibility compliant. It's a tool to provide transparency and open communication to residents, council, and internal staff. On it, we can share and communicate financial and non-financial data to the public or internally with staff. For example, we'll start here with how your municipal budget works. On here, we've put a couple of videos. One on how the budget works and one on how property taxes are calculated. We can put whatever we want on here. Those are just a couple of ones that I thought were useful. It also integrates seamlessly with our Questica budget, so there's no duplication of work. It transforms data into beautiful integrations and interactive charts. And there I'll go to our 2024 budget. It's just going to take a minute. So here's one of the interactive charts. This is revenue broken down by department. We also have expenses by department. And you can just kind of click in to where you want to go. You can see that the majority of our revenue comes from taxes, obviously. But that goes for all the departments at the same function. We also have our 2024 capital budget. On this one here, we have it just by department. You can go into each one, see the actual projects that we have for 2024. And then lastly, we have our Project Explorer. So this is an interactive map where we've mapped out where all our different projects are. As you hover over them, you can see a brief description of them. If you wanted to actually go into it, you just click on it. It takes you to the project, tells you what the project is, gives an estimated start date, what the costs are, the funding per project, and where the funding's coming from, like the different sources. And we do have the ability to put pictures and stuff on here too, if we wanted to. So like the Flight Exec Center, you can see there's a little photo of them, map of it. And yeah, that's about it. Are there any questions?
Thanks. I think that this is a really good tool for the public to use when they have questions regarding financial and building matters. Any questions, comments from council? No questions? No comment? Oh, Deputy Mayor Smyber? Okay.
Right. It
Go
looks
ahead.
like a great tool. I just wanted to know, is there a notification? So if you're adding a new subject area, could be, I'm not sure, any more videos, that type of thing. Is there a notification that would go back to the users that have signed up for news and events?
No, not at this time. I don't believe there is. Yeah, that would just, it's kind of two separate platforms. So yeah.
Thank you. Councillor Heeman?
Are there any plans to use this tool in advance of the coming 2025 budget, or is this strictly like kind of a after the deliberations of completed tool?
Yes, our hope would be that we would use this tool going forward for all budgets, but then there's also additional enhancements from Questica that we're exploring to further improve that interactive platform with yourselves as council members, but also with the public as we go through the budget process. But we're still reviewing those to see how they would work with our system and everything.
Great. Any other questions or comments from council? No? Okay. Oh, certainly.
Thank you, Mayor. So I just want to indicate how proud I am of Nicole and the finance team for putting this together. I know there's assistance from our communications coordinator as well, a team effort in this example of continuous improvement. I appreciate the questions and the responses. That's our mindset from a staff perspective, is to have that continuous improvement, the greater transparency and accessibility of this information. And it does come with a lot of work and initiative from staff. So I can tell you that council, you are well served in the public with the team that we have in place here. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Barrick. And it is good work. At this point, then, if there are no other questions from council, that a mover and a seconder that the Thames Centre Finance Department's presentation on open book be received for information. Councillor Crockett and Councillor Lockie, all in favor? That carries. Thank you. Next item is number 7 on your agenda, adoption of the regular council meetings from the meeting of April 29th, 24. A mover and a seconder that the minutes of the regular meeting of council held on April 29th, 24 be approved as circulated. Deputy Mayor Smybert and Councillor Crockett, all in favor? That carries. Thank you. Item number 8. The consent agenda. Items listed under the consent agenda are received for information in one motion. Council members may request that one or more items be separated for further action. So unless there is one being, Councillor Lockie?
Through your worship, I just wanted to call out one item from 8.1, just acknowledging it.
Okay, thank you. All right. So we'll go back to that one, but in the meantime, if there's nothing else, then consent agenda items 8.2 and 8.3 be received as information. Councillor Smybert and Councillor Lockie, all in favor? Okay, now we'll go back to 8.1 then, Councillor Lockie, when you're ready.
Sure, yeah, sure, through your worship. I just wanted to mention, to call out that on the transportation infrastructure program, that I noticed that they have traffic signals on the budget for Dundas and Missouri, which is fantastic news for people that travel that route. So, that's it.
That will be done by the county, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, county roads. Okay, thank you. All right, so in light of that, unless there are any other comments, a mover and a seconder for the consent portion 8.1, Councillor Heeman and Councillor Lockie, all in favor? Great, that carries as well. So moving on to reports of departments, 9.1, draft customer service charter presented by our Chief Administrative Officer. Go ahead.
Well, that's great. Thank you, Mayor. So what you have before you, as noted, a draft customer service charter. We're seeking council endorsement today. This is in line with the continuum of striving towards greater municipal service delivery excellence. And this particular document will help standardize a level of consistency in terms of expectations, both at the public, residents, user groups, community groups, people coming and applying for permits and applications and licenses. They can expect a standardized level of good service and turnaround times. This kind of codifies it a bit more, so there's no gray. Everyone can see, as well as what we may expect from some residents when they apply for certain things, as an example, fulsome applications, et cetera. So it's a strong communications tool, and it sets the bar in terms of, like I said, a level playing field of how we as municipal staff are delivering services to the public and the community. So you have the details before you, the draft charter. You're welcome to make any adjustments as you see fit. And we're happy to take any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Barrick. Are there any questions or comments from council on this particular item? Deputy Mayor Smybert.
I just want to thank staff. It's always good to see some advances with customer service. Not to say that there isn't really good customer service, but it's always good to kind of set that bar a little bit higher. Just had one question though. So is there an underlying policy or procedure that staff works with in addition to the charter?
Thank you, through the mayor. We don't have a set policy. One, there may be several policies that are implicated here as it relates to, as an example, legislation around planning applications. So we dovetail some of that language in here. Not only that are we following that legislation, but setting a better bar for ourselves that go beyond that legislation when it comes to turnaround times.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Heeman.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just as a addendum to Deputy Mayor Smybert's question, would I be correct in assuming that this will dovetail very nicely into the key performance indicator tracking that I think we've committed to in the past?
Go ahead, Mr. Barrick.
Thank you, through the mayor. I appreciate the question, Councillor Heeman. The short answer is yes. As noted, it's a bit of a continuum with respect to the municipal service inventory, your strategic plan, organizational core values, the customer service charter you have today. The key performance indicators will be forthcoming in another month or so, and they all work together. We have identified in this draft that we would review this customer service charter annually. And so as the key performance indicators are adjusting, or see what they are, we can also amend timelines in this charter as well. Thank you.
Thank you. That answers your question, Tom?
Yes, and
Okay.
again, I'd just like to echo Deputy Mayor's comments about the high standard of service that we have, and just applaud everybody on working to exceed and move towards continuous improvement. So thank you.
Thank you. If there's nothing else then, and I'd like also to say that I'm really pleased to see how the municipality is moving forward on a more transparent process. It's a lot of things that we heard during our campaign, and I'm happy that staff is doing such a great job in moving us forward on this one. Just one little question before we turn to a vote. Will this at some point be displayed on the website?
Thank you, Mayor. The short answer is yes. With council's endorsement, we plan on publishing this on our website as well as our physically at our locations where there's customer interactions, resident interactions.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, so in light of that, a mover and a seconder, that report number CAO 004 24 be received for information, and that council endorse the Municipality of Thames Center's draft customer service charter as attached. Councillor Crockett and Councillor Lockie, all in favor? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Good job, staff. The next one, Travis, the PWDR 004 24 Crinklaw petition for drainage works. Whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Your Worship. Good evening, councillors. The request in front of you today is a petitioner is adding themselves to an active petition that has had not complied with Section 4.1 of the Drainage Act previously. It's my belief that with this new petitioner signing on, that this will comply with Section 4.1, which will allow the engineer to continue designing the drainage works. The location of this drain will be Dorchester Road, just south of Harrietsville, in a watershed that has not historically had a municipal drain. And I can answer any questions from there. Thanks.
Thank you, Travis. Any questions or comments from council regarding this drainage? None at all? Okay, that's fine then, thank you. So in that case, do I have a mover for the recommended motion as appended to the agenda? And it reads that report number PWDR 004 24 of the Drainage Superintendent dated May 13th, 2024, concerning a request received by Vernon and Tricia Crinklaw for a request for new drainage works be received for information, and that the petition submitted by Vernon and Tricia Crinklaw under Section 4 of the Drainage Act for new drainage works in relation to the property in the municipality be received and adopted. A mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Crockett and Councillor Heeman, all in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Travis. And the next one, Mr. McDonald, Director of Community Services and Facilities, to present regarding Lions Senior Center name change.
Thank you. Through you, Your Worship, you have before you report number CS 008-24 regarding name change for the Lions Senior Center. So what staff is proposing and intending to do is to change the name to the Lions Active Living Center. There's been a growing trend, and a lot of senior centers are moving away from being called just that and moving towards being called active living centers or active aging centers or activity centers, along with some other less popular ones. And at least a part of the influences for this move is when the provincial government passed the Senior Active Living Centers Act back in 2017. So some of the benefits of this change, first of all, it reinforces our municipality's active living strategic plan pillar. As well, timing-wise, it's the ideal time to make this change before the new external signage is ordered for the renovated senior center. So that is why this report is before you at this particular time, so that we can move forward with ordering appropriate worded signage. As well, just for your reassurance, the Lions Club being the large sponsor for the senior center since many years ago, they are also in full support of this change. And then the thought is that we would unveil this new name with the grand opening ribbon cutting ceremony for the senior center, which is still on schedule for completion in late July of this year. And then finally, another possible benefit from this is the term seniors. People all have a different number in their head of they think seniors are 50 plus, 60 plus, 65 plus. And I find as I get older, and I think as a lot of people get older, they think the starting age for a senior continues to be 10 or 15 or 20 years older than they are. So by changing it to active living center, it might also then draw some more membership. Not that we've had issue with that. Karen, Kayla, and Lucinda have done a wonderful job increasing our membership levels for the center. So, and then financially, no major implications at all because either way, new signage is required for the new facility. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. I'm moving the age range to 90 now. You know, anything under 90 is not a senior. Any questions or comments from council? Deputy Mayor Smyberg.
Just a comment. I just wanted to thank staff for bringing this forward at this time. It's funny how we get tied to certain names because that's all we've ever really known it as. So again, thank you for bringing it forward and to support the change.
Anyone else? No? Okay. So that being said, then, do I have a mover for the recommended motion to receive this report as information? Councillor Lockie and Councillor Heeman. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Thanks, Steve. Next item on the agenda is number 10, reports of committees. Did I miss something? I think I did.
Community grants.
I did. Sorry, jumped down. Okay, next one on the agenda is 9.4. Again, Mr. McDonald, applications for community grants.
Thank you again. You have before you report CS 007-24. So background wise, as council will recall, our 2024 budget included 40,000 for a new community grants program. Then in a meeting earlier this year on March 11th, $31,600 of that budget was awarded to other groups that have been historically receiving similar funding, which leaves $8,400 in this budget to award, to consider awarding to the applicants that are attached to this report. Applications were received until May the 1st. In total, we received 8 applications that totaled over $60,000 in requests. I just wanted to highlight one of the key criteria that was used in evaluating the applications, which is specified right on the application itself, that being that preference will be given to applications which meet one or more priorities set out in Thames Center's strategic plan. And active living was a match for all but one of the applications, while none of the other strat plan priorities tended to be addressed or covered off with applications. In addition, some of the applications also addressed recommendations that are included in the 2023 Community Service and Facility Master Plan. So moving on to the applications. First of all, the evaluation committee is recommending that 3 of the applications receive funding from this budget item. Firstly, that being the Dorchester Dream Park Committee for $1,038.08. And this is in regards to a project that they currently have in the works. So as you will remember, the phase 1 of this project was covered by a $400,000 municipal budget line. And then phase 2, which is set to be done within the coming weeks for the seniors exercise equipment, that was fully funded by $157,000 of funds raised by the Dorchester Dream Park Committee with no budget from Thames Center. And then on top of that, this group of volunteers has collected close to $50,000 of donations in kind. They have groups that are donating a large cement pad, engineered posts, and sunshade, so that we'll be able to have a very large sun shelter in the middle of this area. The only part of that project that was not donated was the engineering costs for the pad, for the cement pad, with that cost being just over $3,300. So initially, this group had requested the full amount, that $3,300 to pay the engineering bill. However, I was able to confirm that between the funds they had raised for phase 2 and the revised cost for phase 2 from our supplier, that there's a bit of overage there that can cover a portion of the engineering funds. So the amount being proposed to provide is just to make up that difference, so that then everything's covered. And the committee thought this would be a great gesture from Thames Centre, just to show our ongoing support of this community group as they are continuing to push forward. They already have a huge fundraising event planned for June 15th, a dance, because they're now raising money for a wheelchair swing. And after that, they'll be going for something else. They're doing an amazing job. So that was the first application that we're recommending council consider giving some funds towards. And then after that one, that leaves just over $7,300 in the budget available, which the evaluation committee is recommending is split between the next 2 applications that are covered off on the top of page 3 of the report, that being the Thorndale Ag Society and the London Children's Museum. The Ag Society is asking for funding to go towards an outdoor sound system, which will be well used and enjoyed by the community, while the London Children's Museum, as we know from their presentation to council late last year, is actively looking for funds as they wrap up their huge new capital project with their new facility, which is even closer to Thames Centre. So that is the recommendations for funds. But then as well, the committee thought of a couple other opportunities to help 2 of the other applications that are not requiring funds from this budget line, that being for the Belmont, Elmer, Dorchester Girls Hockey Association, which goes by Bad Girls Hockey Association. They had requested funding for ICE to run their fundamentals program, which checks a lot of boxes for the community service master plan, and that we're wanting to promote and encourage more growth for increasing girls and women's participation in sports and recreation. So their fundamentals program is a free program for any girls that have yet to play or try hockey. So they can come and for free see if hockey is for them. So what we're proposing for this is to offer 1 hour of ICE per week for the balance of 2024 at the Flight Exec Center, which must be dedicated to their fundamentals program. So that will help not only allow them to continue to offer that program, but furthermore, to make sure they're offering it here in Thames Centre, because they also do operate out of Elmer and Belmont. So that's a recommendation there. The cost associated with that, we'd be out about $3,500 in rental revenue, ICE rental. And then the second group that we would like to help in a similar manner is the Boys and Girls Club. Their application is a match with Active Living and several of the recommendations in the master plan. And the Boys and Girls Club was looking for money to assist with staffing and gym rental. So with the budget funds already used up, we could help them with the gym rental portion. And with that, they want to be able to offer similar programming in both Thorndale, where we're already partnering with them, and here in Dorchester, where we've just begun to partner with them with that 12-month trial lease of the former Lions meeting room. So with that, we would like to offer 2 hours a week of gym or auditorium time. And the reason we're throwing auditorium in there is our gym is fairly maxed out, so they may not be able to get the gym much. And so it'd be nice to give them another alternative for any activities that are friendly towards an auditorium. Like they won't be able to play volleyball or floor hockey or anything in the auditorium, but there will be opportunities for them to do activities there. So depending on how much of that use of time is gym versus auditorium, there's a slight difference in rental. So that would range from 35 to 3,500 to $4,100 in lost revenue there. And that is normally, this grant program specifies everything is to be used in the current budget year. For this one, we're proposing, since they have a 12-month trial lease, we would like this offer to be for the 12 months of their trial lease. So that 3,500 to 4,100 takes a full 12 months into account. And those are the recommendations. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thanks, Mr. McDonald. Any question, Councillor Crockett?
Thank you, Your Worship. Not exactly a question, but I do want to commend the committee for going through these applications. I think it is exactly what we wanted to see come through with the community grant program, and especially because there is such a wide breadth of the funding going across the municipality and then even a little bit outside to the Children's Museum, but will likely still be used by a lot of our residents here. And I would like to put forward my recommendation to support the rental fee structure in lieu of monetary funds for the Bad Girls Hockey and Boys and Girls Club of London. Thanks.
Thanks, Councillor Crockett. Councillor Heeman?
I would like to second that motion. And I just want to again applaud the committee and especially the recommendation for in-kind contributions, because I think that's a very creative way to keep in the spirit of the grants and provide more opportunities in our community while not just relying on the envelope of funds that were put forward. So thank you for that creativity.
Thanks, Councillor Heeman. Anything else from, Councillor Lockie?
Through your worship, I just have a question regarding the lost revenue. So will this have an impact in this year's financials? So we'll be over budget because we won't get the revenue, or would that have been, time we might have not rented?
Good question. Yeah, I believe the impact will be little to none. First of all, the auditorium, or sorry, the gymnasium and auditorium use by the Boys and Girls Club would be time that otherwise is generally not going to be used. So I don't see an issue with that. And with the new auditorium and the 3 new rooms in the Lions Active Living Center, I have to get used to that one now. I think, there's going to be ample space in that regard, so we shouldn't be bad there. There would be that loss of revenue for the ice rentals. However, our ice is very well used, and every year we seem to continue to get more and more users during the day, which can help to offset what we'll lose for that 1 hour a week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Nothing else from council then? Okay. In that case, a mover and a seconder that report number CS-009-24 be received for information, and that council approve the remaining 2024 community grant funds be awarded to the Dorchester Dream Park Committee, Thorndale Agricultural Society, and the London Children's Museum as outlined in this report.
Sorry. Through your worship. So there's just the amendment that Councillor Crockett made, and Councillor Heeman said he would second it.
Okay.
Just including the second piece in Steve's report, that council approved providing 1 hour per week of free ice to Bad Girls Hockey for the balance of 2024 for a total of 18 weeks for $198.06 per hour before HST, totaling $3,565.08 in lost rental revenue. And that council approved providing the Boys and Girls Club with 2 free hours per week of gym or auditorium use at the Flight Exec Center for the duration of their 12-month trial lease of space at this facility, equating to between $3,500 and $4,100 in lost rental revenue, depending on how many of these hours are auditorium versus gym.
Okay, an amendment to that motion. So a mover and a seconder. You moved and Tom has seconded. Council in favor? Okay, thank you. That motion carries then. Thanks, Mr. McDonald. Reports of committees. Item number 10 on your agenda. Items listed under reports of committees are approved by council in one motion. Council members may request that one or more items be separated for further action. So unless something is separated, a mover and a seconder for items 10.1 through 10.3. Deputy Mayor Smybert and Councillor Crockett. Yes, Councillor Crockett, sorry. All in favor? That motion carries. Thank you. Mayor's report. It's a wee bit lengthy, I'm sorry. Since my last report, I've been pleased to attend the following events, and I'm going to give you a quick overview of this. Thursday, April the 11th, I was at the Community Garden Kickoff. Monday, April the 15th, Volunteer Appreciation Breakfast held in Thorndale. It was a great event with lots of people in attendance. And my thanks to the community volunteers and also to our staff for all the work they do to put this breakfast on. On April the 15th, our first of the year council meetings in Thorndale. Many thanks to the residents who turned out. It was a good turnout. See you again in October. Wednesday, April the 17th, it was the municipality's pleasure to present a check in support of the West Missouri Manor, a very special place in Thorndale, providing homes and activities to our many seniors in the area. And then immediately after that, I was on my way to the Kettle Creek Conservation Authority Board meeting. Tuesday, April the 23rd, I, along with CAO David Barrick, planning staff, and Cara Finn of ECDEV for the County of Middlesex, were pleased to meet with Murray Good of Whitecrest Mushrooms to talk about his expansion plans. Wednesday, the 24th of April, a number of staff and council members had the distinct opportunity to visit the construction site for the expansion of our Flight Exec Center in Dorchester. I'm sure the public will be impressed with this project, as we all were. Thursday, the 25th of April, many of our staff and council were on hand for a regular emergency management meeting. And then late in the afternoon, Deputy Mayor Smybert, CAO Barrick, and I were on hand at the London International Airport to learn all about some exciting plans the airport is planning for the future. Monday, the 29th, the new fire safety house was on exhibition for council and contributing groups to see, followed by, of course, our council meeting at 5 that day. Tuesday, the 30th of April, Deputy Mayor Smybert and I were pleased to be present at the Mayor's Breakfast in Ingersoll and to hear the exciting news of so much growth in the town. Following that, Deputy Mayor Smybert, Councillor Chantal Crockett, and I lent a very small hand to the Smile Cookie campaign. Learned how to put our smiles on property. I had a little trouble with the eyes. It is. And if it's a fundraiser for young campers at Tim Hortons camps. April 30th also saw the second of 3 mini town halls being held in our municipality as an opportunity to engage with our residents on information on a very informal basis. Due to personal matter, I was unable to attend that meeting, but I understand there was a very good turnout. The next one, of course, will be this coming Wednesday night, May the 15th, in the Blue Line Room, beginning at 6:30 and going until 8:30. And members of the public are welcome to come in for a chat. May 1 to 3, Deputy Mayor and I attended the OSAM conference in Aurelia. May the 7th, the annual Middlesex Day this year was held in Lucan, and a great chance to hear from some of the many businesses that make up our county, along with the Warden's State of the Nation address. And additional items through the month saw a variety of meetings with residents on various topics and concerns. And that's it. Don't believe there's any unfinished business or notices of motion. Under new business, item number 14 on your agenda, the 2024 Association of Municipalities of Ontario, otherwise known as AMO, delegation form. And this is an opportunity for council to discuss and provide feedback on possible delegation topics for staff to submit on behalf of council for the upcoming 2024 Association of Municipalities Conference. It's being held in Ottawa this year. There is information from the provincial government basically to outline how we do this, but we also have to provide our topics and requests to the various ministries ahead of time. So this is your opportunity if you want to talk about it, and I'll ask our CAO if he has something more to say on this.
Well, thank you, Mayor. I think you've captured it quite well. Any comments we will take back. And the formulation of submissions, usually we're able to submit for 4 or 5. So any ideas you have are greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Councillor Heeman, I see your hand up.
Thank you, Your Worship. I think a good topic to bring up would be some of the implications of the assessed to existing for infrastructure charges related to the 95% recovery versus the 100% recovery of water and wastewater infrastructure. I think that for small municipalities, we don't have a very good mechanism to rapidly expand water and wastewater infrastructure to accommodate the type of growth that the province is asking us to do. And I think that it's become more and more evident that us front loading these infrastructure charges in the hope that we get development fees is not really fair in terms of the implication on our water and wastewater rates. So I think the changes with the 95%, communicating the impacts, especially to residents, and how, if the province and the federal government do wish for a rapid increase in housing, that those are investments that have to be made over a long time horizon. And if we could get financial support for those infrastructure investments, I think that would be a good use of our time, is just searching out additional pools of money that we could get to cover those investments, and B, to communicate some of the recent legislation changes effect on our residents in terms of implications for water and wastewater.
Thanks, Councillor Heeman. And for sure, that is a very, very, very big topic. Every conference we go to, there's a lot of talk about infrastructure and how it can be supported particularly in smaller municipalities such as ours. And that was a topic of conversation at OSM as well, which is largely dedicated to smaller municipalities. So, okay, Tom, duly noted then. Anything else? I will say this at this moment, though, if you have additional information, if you could email me that and copy CAO Barrick on it, then it just makes the job that easier. I feel that when we have the opportunity to sit down face to face with these ministers, there are a couple of things that happen. One is they begin to know your municipality, and with any luck, they even recognize a few faces, and it presents a different lens when you actually have 15 or 20 minutes to sit down face to face with these people. So it's not a waste of time. It may not always achieve the results that we're looking for right today, but hopefully down the road, we make some sort of imprint. And I see, Tom, you're asking a question? ahead.
Yes, through your worship, I have another comment. Something that has come forward from our budget this past year, and B, from the Upper Thames Conservation Authority, is the implications of I believe it's Bill 23 on freezing development or freezing fees from conservation authorities, and the trickle down effect that that has had onto municipalities through Conservation Ontario. Upper Thames and other conservation authorities are trying to seek to relief so that they can adjust development fees again, so that developers are paying for development and not general taxpayers through the conservation levy. So I just wanted to flag that one as well.
Thanks, Tom. Just further to that, council's probably aware that currently Bill 85 is out for consultation, and it does address some of the things that you're talking about, and a reduction of required services from the CAs. I know that Kettle Creek is responding as well. And I'm sure that the municipal government, or the provincial government's going to hear a lot on that one. But thanks for bringing that one up. Anything else from council? And as I said, please feel free to jot down your notes and send an email in to myself and CAO Barrett by the end of the week. Thank you. So on that line, that a mover and a seconder that the 2024 Association of Municipalities of Ontario delegation form be received for information. Deputy Mayor Smybert and Councillor Crockett, all in favor? Motion's carried. Thank you. Council will be going into closed session shortly, but just before that, I'd like to change things up a little bit on the agenda and announce too before we go offline in case people don't come back on. The next meeting of the regular scheduled meeting for council is Monday, May the 27th, again at 5 p.m., followed by June the 10th at 5 p.m. And also just a further reminder of the mini town hall at the Blue Line Room at the Arena here in Dorchester on Wednesday night from 6:30 till 8 p.m. Thank you. Council will now be moving into closed session for which there will be no live streaming. The live stream will resume once the closed session portion has been completed. A mover and a seconder. Deputy Mayor Smybert and Councillor Heeman, all in favor? And resolved that council adjourn to closed session at 5:48 p.m. pursuant to section 239 of the Municipal Act to consider litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board. So, all in favor? Thank you. I'd like to advise that during closed session, council considered information regarding litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board, and provided direction to staff. So the confirmatory bylaw, item number 17 on your agenda, being a bylaw to adopt, confirm, and ratify matters dealt with by resolution of the municipality of Thames Centre. And that bylaw 35-2024 being the confirmatory bylaw be adopted as presented. I'll move her in a seconder, please. Councillor Lockie and Councillor Heeman, all in favor? That carries. All right, we've already announced our meeting schedule of May 27th and June 10th. So a mover and a seconder for adjournment of this evening's meeting. And the time is 6:43 PM. Councillor Heeman and Councillor Crockett. All in favor? Thank you. Meeting stands adjourned.